Hi girl, Eva here. Look, during my early 2000s show's kick, I watched all seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and this show is really good. It had me laughing like 50 Cent during the documentary interviews. I was gagging with Dawn's first appearance, and I cried my eyes out when Joyce passed away. However, there were characters that I could not stand, so we're gonna rank them today. If for some reason you don't know what this program is about, just imagine Sabrina Carpenter with a group of friends slaying supernatural creatures and stopping the end of the world every week. To determine how annoying these characters are, I've developed a system that consists of 3 levels. Level 1. You know when it's lunchtime and you want to watch something while eating? So you decide to open your favorite streaming app in search of that video. Some time passes, you are still scrolling and the food is getting cold, so you start eating while looking. In the end, you finish your meal, close the app because you couldn't find anything, and keep going with your day. That brief feeling of inconvenience is what I want you to think about. It barely affects you, but it's there for a couple of minutes. And the name of the tier is Nothing to Watch. Level 2. I'm a fast walker, mainly because my brain has songs like Whiplash by aespa and Work by Britney playing at all times. So if you're a slow walker, please don't occupy all of the space, pick a lane and stick to it, because if we bump into each other, it's a you problem. So this level is called Move, Get Off the Way. Level 3. When someone wakes me up for no reason. Seems simple, but that can easily put me in a bad mood. And I call this tier Let Me Rest. Quick disclaimer, this is my opinion and I'ma be joking around. Okay, so these are the characters that we're gonna be ranking today. Perfect, talented, brilliant, incredible, yes, show-stopping, spectacular. So let's begin easy with Andrew, Jonathan, and Warren, aka the trio. Or how I like to call them, the 3 idiots. They wanted to end Buffy's life and take over Sunnydale for some reason. Like, girl, haven't you noticed that your town sucks? Things are getting destroyed non-stop. People are dropping like flies left and right, and it's full of monsters. Who would like to rule that place? They summoned demons, stole a lot, took advantage of Katrina, Warren wiped her out, and they try to frame Buffy for the murder. And on top of that, while opening fire in Buffy's direction, Warren shoots Tara. Say what you want about Dark Willow, but her turning Warren into Robbie Williams in the Rock DJ music video was satisfying. When she says, "One down." Oh my goodness, it was so good. Yeah, I'm out of line or whatever, but come on now. Deep down, you agree with me. You could make the case that Andrew and Jonathan weren't as evil as Warren, and I somewhat agree, but they were still there most of the time, especially Andrew. Well, there were vibes, no? With Warren? Or am I wrong? It was more than the criminal aspect, wasn't it? Anyways, Andrew got a redemption arc after stabbing Jonathan and was a bit funny but still hated them. So they will be the first to occupy Let Me Rest. Next, Glory. I couldn't get enough of this queen. Glorificus gave us acting, she gave us hair, and she gave us outfits. Glory was, and still is, that girl. She was just looking for a key to open a door and go back home. No biggie. At this point in the show, every couple of days, someone wanted to bring health to Earth, so this goddess shrine was nothing new. She gives Dominic Jackson, get the choose, baby energy. And the names. We need to talk about the ways her minions used to refer to her. Your creamy coolness, perturbed yet ultimately merciful one, oh sweet naughty feeling cousin one. Someone made a full list of them, by the way. That being said, what she did to Tara bothered me, therefore she's going to be in Move, Get Out of the Way. Let's follow with Angel. Some people find him charming, others mysterious with an interesting aura. And I couldn't disagree more. My hatred ranges from the way he says, Buffy, to him becoming a couple with her. Basically anything related to this man pisses me off. Why is everybody ignoring the age gap? What are you doing pursuing a high schooler? Sir, you're old, you're a stalker, you're a PDF file. You know how there was this Twilight level Team Angel versus Team Spike? I disliked both. We're gonna talk about Spike in a minute. I have no idea what Darla saw in him to turn him into a vampire while he was struggling to be Irish with his Amazon Essentials wig on, but I support women's wrongs, I guess. The way I cheered when he was sent to that hell dimension or when he was doing the spin-off, oh, joyful times. If dullness were a person, it would be him. Being a corpse doesn't mean you gotta be lifeless, my boy. So the three idiots have a fourth member now in Let Me Rest. Additionally, there is Angelus. He was a little more entertaining than Souled Angel, but still jarring. And because of that, I'ma take him down a tier to move, get out the way. Next one, Drusilla. I see my future and it's bright. Drusilla was generally in her own reality, and I love that for her. This is the degree of delusion that some of us are striving to achieve but haven't quite reached yet. Of course, we have to look past why she's the way she is, Angela's being a psycho and making her lose her mind. Once we do, her performances are oddly enjoyable. But she sent Kendra to the season 6, episode 3, so Drew is going to be placed in Move, Get Off the Way. Let's continue with Willow. I'm very biased toward this woman because I've loved her since the first time I saw her. She's a combination of intelligence and adorable. She is the definition of multifaceted. How does one go from a hacker to the most powerful witch of the Western Hemisphere? And yes, Willow was extremely reckless with her powers. I mean, that's how Dark Willow started, her addiction to it. But overall, she was a cutie. If we forget about her being unfaithful to us, casting spells on Tara, and some other minor things like almost killing everyone multiple times, Mrs. Rosenberg Maclay was great. She saved Buffy after she was shot. She went from being naive and insecure to being confident and a leader. And she chose Tara over us. Sorry, I'll never hate Willow. Nothing to watch, there you go. Since we are here, let's talk about Dark Willow. Wanting to destroy the planet because your woman was murdered is a bit overboard. We have to admit that. Babe, taking Warren off the game and terrorizing the idiotic duo was enough. But I sorta understand where Revlon number 10 Color Silk Willow is coming from. If that happened to my girlfriend, but you also have to know that the rest of humanity had nothing to do with the crime. Anyhow, it wasn't that atrocious, so nothing to watch. And finally, Willow from Anja's Alternative Reality. Yes, she was so sassy. And the foreshadowing with the kinda gay part, those writers clocked in and they did what they were paid to do. I wanted to see more of her, but she gets staked, which is a bummer, so another that goes to nothing to watch. I told you I was not unbiased. Let's break the streak with Riley. It's a chop, never liked him. Buffy was out there fighting for her life, literally and metaphorically, because of this man. He just wasn't it. That's it. Straight to Let Me Rest. Now we're gonna go with Joyce. You could say she was annoying with the in every generation, there's a chosen one thingy. But if your teen daughter was going around late at night doing who knows what, you'd be worried and acting like her too. She wasn't a model parent, but she could have been worse. She told Buffy not to come back if she left, but sometimes she was willing to listen to others and help. Like when Spike was freshly dumped and they talked you through over some hot chocolate. Same with Faith. Joyce tried and hoped she would get the help she needed. She defended Buffy when the school was under attack for the 100th time. And after knowing the truth about Dawn, she loved her unconditionally. Her demise shocked me. It was so sudden and natural. I was waiting for something or someone to be responsible for it, but no. She just had a complication with her medical condition. The Body is such an excellent episode. The whole cast delivered. Joyce goes to nothing to watch. Okay, following with The Master. This diva He left Buffy unconscious and she drowned, but those are technicalities that we don't need to be concerned with. The actor ate that role up. He was so theatrical and captivating. Look at that smile after the Anointed One tells him that there's still a chance he could rise and cause havoc. One of my favorite villains. And the master goes to nothing to wash, obviously. Continuing with Snyder. He was a menace, and honestly, work. He only cared about the school reputation and discipline. If a student got hurt, his first instinct was persuading their parents not to sue. A big part of his job was covering up all of the crazy stuff that happened. For example, a group of vampires crashes parent-teacher night and attacks. Snyder's caught, it was a gang-related drug altercation. But he was tolerable, his horrendous traits didn't bother me tremendously. I was entertained. So move, get out of the way. Next one is Faith. She's the final form of mommy and daddy issues. Faith started as a rebel, then became the right hand of a dude who wanted to feed babies to a demon just because she needed a father figure and a place to stay. Homegirl killed two innocent people and tried to do the same to Angel, but she would have done me a favor eliminating that piece of boiled unseasoned chicken. There are layers to this amount of trauma and self-loathing. Now, I didn't necessarily find her existence bothersome. I was intrigued by her. When I thought she couldn't go any lower, she showed me how you can reach new depths of self-destruction if you want it hard enough. The story of Faith is sad more than anything else. Her influence on Buffy was not that positive, but the dancing scene in season 3, episode 14, history was made that day. And Faith is gonna go and move, get out of the way. What if we talk about Dawn? Yeah, let's talk about her. A masterclass of how to introduce a new character. I recall being like, who is this? Did I miss an episode? Was she living with her dad? I enjoyed that a lot. Introduction aside, when it comes to Dawn, she behaves in a less than ideal way, but isn't that how younger siblings usually are? Sisters fight and get on each other's nerves on a daily basis. I'm telling you this from experience. And not only that, I cannot accuse a kid of being irrational after learning that she's a wanted ultra-dimensional object. The f would you do in a situation like that? So to me, her attitude wasn't unbearable. If anything, I felt sorry for the little girl. Mom gone, sister gone, and living in an awful place full of bloodsuckers and whatever this is. Although, I wouldn't complain if Tara and Willow raised me. Nothing to watch. And to finish covering Buffy's main romantic relationships, we have Spike. William was manipulative. He tried to SA Buffy and made the biggest idiot of them all build an exact robot replica of the Slayer to get freaky with. And that is just to list a few. He kinda redeems himself with the whole protecting Dawn and getting a soul business, but I don't care. He went from wanting to kill Buffy, her family, and friends to being obsessed with her. Spike had comedic moments, unlike someone else. Memorable lines, the clothes, the cheekbones, and the platinum blonde slick back moment going on, but no, sorry. If you make me choose between Angel and Spike, I'd go with the latter, because he at least has a personality, and the actor was able to bring it to life. So the terrible poet will be in Let Me Rest. I think we need to go with Xander. He wasn't that special in comparison, no powers or immense amount of otherworldly knowledge, but somehow managed to save Buffy at the end of season 1 and defeated Dark Willow by just talking. Another thing to add is the Seppo and the Replacement, what I consider his best episodes. Having said that, Alexander was often a jerk. And not only because he cheated on Cordelia or left Anja at the altar. In general, he was irritating, especially when it came to women. The first few seasons were painful to watch. Then he gets some growth when he becomes a construction worker and all that, but it doesn't fully take off. There's something scummy about him, you know? He's gonna be in move, get out of the way. And the one that should be discussed after Sender is Anja. Through mostly exposition, we know that as a vengeance demon, Ayanka did some damage. But as a human, the only thing she did was make me uncomfortable. Also, pairing her with Xander was a choice. But as everything progresses, she gets more in touch with her humanity and the awkwardness slowly decreases. It never goes away though. Apart from that, I have no major complaints about Anja. She was into getting her coin and she fought until the end. Nothing to watch. Let's continue with Tara. They did my girl extremely dirty. Let's start with her family. What do you mean you made her believe she was part demon just to control her? Wendy, please?
Death to all of them.
Yes. Her brain energy gets sucked, leaving her pretty much insane. Her woman becomes a magic tweaker and they break up. And once she's happy again with her wifey, she's killed by a stray bullet. Why? Tara was wonderful. She was kind. Didn't judge Buffy when she was with Spike. She had the strongest voice in the musical episode alongside Giles. And found more and more confidence as time went on. But you get Kennedy after her. There's only one Tara. No one cares about Kennedy. We only remember her name because she was with Willow, which made no sense. Why was she a love interest to begin with? And if it weren't for that, everyone would be like, Miss Who? Just like the other potential slayers. I never felt an ounce of annoyance with Tara's presence, and her tragic ending makes me so mad. If you want to get rid of one of the gays, take Andrew. He deserved it more than this woman. But her death was necessary to push Willow into dyeing her hair and having a Rick Owens trip. It doesn't matter. Tara should be alive. Girl, calm down. It's a show from 20 years ago. Ooh, girl. Jesus. Okay, nothing to watch. Alright, following is Cordelia. I know she served constantly, but Cordelia was not very pleasant to have around. Remember, two things can be true at once. Why was she so mean to the Scoobies? To Xander, I give it a pass, but Buffy and Willow, it was unnecessary. One thing that stood out to me was her dad doing tax fraud and her ending up broke as a result, because we got some character development from that. And thanks to her wish of having a Sunnydale without the Slayer, Singe Willow happened, but it was not enough in my book. She was not that nice. But did Cordelia deserve what these two did to her, including being impaled? Not at all. And that fling she had with Wesley was weird. How old was Buffy's new washer again? Going back to the point, I didn't miss her after she went to LA. She is going to move, get out of the way. And talking about characters that were forgotten by me, let's go with Us. He was okay. Him being a werewolf was more of a hassle than an advantage. He got freaky with someone while being with Willow, and what else? Oh, I think he was solid as Patrick in Season 2, Episode 12 of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. But other than that, meh. Us goes to nothing to watch. Next one will be Giles. He knew when to open the library and read Buffy. Like when he told her that she needs to learn how to do things on her own, since he will not be there forever in Season 4, Episode 1. Reaper was fun. His remarks, his singing, and his dynamic with Buffy were spot on. However, Helpless was a difficult episode, not his finest moment. And if you let me put my tinfoil hat on, I have to say that Giles died. There is no way he could have stopped that axe. We're talking about a man that was regularly getting knocked out. But I digress. Rupert will sit comfortably with a cup of tea and a book about the occult in Nothing to Watch. This pick might be out of place, but I wanted to mention the gentleman. I know they were in only one episode and didn't even speak, but I loved these dudes. The suits, the rotted, disturbing smiles, the bald heads like Trixie and Katya, the sleep-deprived faces just like me when I'm editing these videos. Representation matters, guys. My culture is not your costume.
My bad, I'm sorry.
So the elegant levitating uncles need to be in Nothing to Watch. Lastly, we have the one, the only, Buffy Ann Summers. I cannot even start to describe how layered this character is. Navigating her duties as a slayer and wanting to have a semi-regular life as a teenager. All of her failed relationships. Dying, being at peace, and getting resurrected against your will. The responsibilities of being an adult and raising your non-sister. And the list goes on. We got fantastic performances by Sarah Michelle Gellar. Season 6, episode 17 still has me wondering if Buffy is in a mental institution and the whole thing is made up. I won't be getting too into analyzing mode because I'm sure someone else can break down the nuances and complexities of Buffy better than I ever could. So it all boils down to, did Buffy annoy me? Only once. It was when she got those micro bangs that were a travesty. Whoever played with her like that should be in jail. Besides that, not even once. Even with all of the disdain that I have towards Angel and his involvement with her, I was only annoyed by him. Her questionable decisions or behavior didn't enrage me at all. She was flawed just like any other character, but really likable. So this amazing lady will go to Nothing to Watch. This is the result of the ranking. It's okay if you ask me, but if you think someone should be somewhere else, you can let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please feel free to like and subscribe. My goal right now is to reach 100 subscribers, and the count is at 14, so your subscription will help a lot. And see you on the next one. Bye-bye.